And my colleague Pramod also is getting us more details on that. Pramod, this is this moment really is nail-biting, given that things are moving swiftly in the Supreme Court of India. On the other hand, things are moving in Chennai as well, where Victoria Gowri is all set to take oath as a High Court judge. Tell us more about the developments from inside the court right now.
It surely is. It surely is, and we are inside the meeting hall, and things are actually moving rapidly here. You could see that all lawyers and everyone have assembled at the spot, and on the right side we have the door through which the judges and the personnel who are going to be sworn in as additional judges are going to enter. In fact, we are waiting for nearly 10 minutes for them to enter. The proceedings are supposed to start by 10:35, and the time currently is 10:37, and everyone else have assembled here except for the judges and the personnel who are to be sworn in as additional judges. We are also hearing that there could be a delay, but this is not confirmed, but there could be a possible delay, maybe considering that they could wait for the Supreme Court's decision on the matter. But so far everything is present and everybody's set for the personnel to be sworn in as the additional judges inside the hall at Madras High Court.
Well, in fact, we're getting in these pictures from the Madras High Court, and if at all Nalini, she were to take oath as a Madras High Court judge today, how this process is going to move then in Supreme Court is also going to change drastically, given that Advocate Victoria Gowri then is going to be Justice Victoria Gowri, isn't it?
She will become an additional judge of the Madras High Court, and there are things that are going to roll on, and it's being said that the AIULU, Advocates Union of India, that's the one, especially A.N.G. Prasad and Vaige were the ones who initially brought out these cases against Victoria Gowri, showing the information on social media, allegedly her talking against different communities and bringing all these things out. But here it looks like everything is going as per procedure, and that's what the entire place is pretty quiet and silent. Everyone, including former judges, PP, Attorney General, everybody are here, and they are looking at that particular door because they are waiting for the judges and the personnel to enter. But so far, it's been already 4 minutes past 10:35, and no one has entered. This itself is a very big kind of like everyone is looking there because we are waiting, because everything here happens as per time, and so it looks like they are also probably waiting for what's happening in the Supreme Court.
All right, I'm just going to come back to you in a few moments from now. These are pictures coming in from the Madras High Court that Pramod is getting us, and Nalini is also with us for the very latest as far as the developments from inside the Supreme Court. Nalini, if you could give us a sense of how things are moving right now inside the court, what exactly is Justice Gowri also saying?
Well, a very interesting aspect is being put forth by Justice Gowri, where he has gone on to say that he himself has been a political person in the past, but now he's been a judge for the past 20 years. So for the petitioners just to say that Victoria Gowri had political inclinations or was associated with any political party in the past is not ground enough for them to reconsider as to whether or not her name should have been appointed. What the petitioners are claiming at this point is that in a recent communication that was put forth by the centre to the Collegium, they had specifically said that social media posts made by prospective candidates to be selected as judges should be a ground to determine their ineligibility. And this the centre had said in reference to other names that were recommended by the Collegium, saying that they had made social media posts or shared articles that were critical either of the government or of the Prime Minister that show that they have a political inclination. But at the same time, the Supreme Court in response to that has said that posting social media articles is not a ground, is something that the Collegium had made it clear in one of their resolutions, where they said that these things should not be considered by the government while deciding as to whether or not a person is fit to be appointed as a judge of the Madras High Court. So that is one aspect that they are not taking into consideration, the fact that she has made social media posts. But as to whether or not the statements made by her in her previous media interviews account as hate speech against minorities, and will that be a ground for her appointment to be annulled at this point, is something that still remains to be seen. The hearing, like I told you, is still currently underway before the Supreme Court, and by the process of hierarchy, technically the Madras High Court should not go ahead with the oath-taking ceremony, keeping in mind keeping in mind that the hearing before the Supreme Court is still underway. But because the stage is set for the oath-taking ceremony, a circular was also issued, and there is no stay on that circular so far from the Supreme Court. They are not bound, of course, by continuing with the oath-taking ceremony. But if there is an order that comes in from the Supreme Court any minute now that stops the oath-taking ceremony, then it remains to be seen exactly how this case is going to proceed. Will the Supreme Court have a longer hearing to determine the finer aspects of these petitions, specifically taking into account the statements that are objected to by the petitioners of Victoria Gowri, or at the same time whether the Supreme Court is going to allow for this to happen? Because remember, Sneha, once Victoria Gowri takes oath as a judge of the Madras High Court, the Supreme Court cannot interfere whatsoever in the issue. The only process to remove her as a judge of the Madras High Court will be through the Parliament, where the process of impeachment will have to be conducted.